Some bite down boxing. I don't have much time, but man, I just get agitated. I really do. Check me out over at www.bitedownboxing.com, as well as It's Always Personal, the podcast over on Spotify, as well as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. That's It's Always Personal. I don't. I hate to try to come off as the smartest guy doing this and the smartest guy in the room, because I'm really not. But I get agitated with the simplicity in some of this stuff and the misleading in some of this stuff. And again, I say this all the time. You know, we got a lot of people talking about things and leading the discussion, influencing the thinking of others and their followings, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They have no concern about what they're talking about. They're just talking. And you know, getting into this Triller situation last night with that took place with this Triller Fight Club winning this purse bid to hold the fight. First of all, nobody even gives a shit about boxing. You know, the masses don't even care about boxing and how it works. First fact, nobody, it's a small group of people that even care. Then we drill down a little bit. There's only three to five fighters that really have this autonomy that everybody says is so easy to have. But yet and still, we have so many boxers on the sidelines who aren't even fighting, who can't even get a fight. They can't even fight in their hometown. And so again, I just sit here and I'm baffled that some people get on these channels and try to talk boxing business like it's easy to do, like they're actually doing it. Somebody just left the chat. You got to be on here doing some real over the top extreme stuff, for somebody to stop and listen to your ideas. So that's why I kind of ignore that shit. But anyway, Triller, I touched on it last night on the Michigan update that I was given with the win over Iowa. But Triller comes in and wins this. They win the right to televise or to broadcast this championship title fight with Teofimo Lopez against George Kambosos Jr. Teofimo is the world champion at lightweight. He also, in boxing, each weight division, there's like 17 or 18 of them, from like 108 pounds to 200 and over. There's 4 belts in every division, 4 major belts, 4 major recognized belts. Teofimo Lopez has all 4 of those. One of them is it's a discrepancy in there for the WBC. So he's a hot commodity. I think he's 23, maybe 24. And he just won this really big fight back in October on ESPN that had great TV numbers. And then he came back for his next fight. He's up for his next fight. However, one of the 4 belts that he has, there's a mandatory, according to the sanctioning body, there's a mandatory opponent that he must face in the top 15 rankings of that sanctioning body. It's a mandatory opponent that he must face to not be stripped of his title. And of course, he wants to hold all of his titles because that boosts up his guarantee that his contract with his promoter, they have to pay him X amount of money based on the number of titles that he is holding. These titles also help with the promotion of a fight. People want to know why the hell they're tuning into this. There needs to be something to give fans and viewers and potential buyers, if it is a pay-per-view, a reason to watch this stuff. So that's kind of like some of the background. But anyway, Triller is not they're new to the party. And it's an app. I don't even know what this app is about. The first time I started hearing about this app, some people just heard about it yesterday. But the first time I started hearing about this app was a month and a half ago or something, when they held the Tyson fight. against Roy Jones Jr. And it was some other normal boxing fights on the undercard. They did some different things. They had some rappers involved with the broadcast. They had Snoop Dogg, who might be part ownership. So again, with this exhibition fight in the main event, and then the rest of the card being traditional boxing bouts, they're doing something completely different. And it paid off big time, because supposedly the number of pay-per-view buys for that event was over 1 million, or around 1 million, give or take. And then they brought the price point down to $50 or something. I didn't buy it. So now they come in as this disruptor. What's up, Jamil? I meant to say what's up to you the other day, man. I was just trying to read you on the fly, and the Junior the Truth thing kind of threw me off. And anyway, but thanks for tuning in, bro. So anyway, like I said, here it is. Triller now has paid, has put up $6 million to have this fight, and we have some people cheering for them because they have the fight. Keep in mind, some of these people that are cheering have no intention to buy this fight. Teofimo Lopez against Kambosos Jr. Also keep in mind that Kambosos Jr. is probably not a $500,000 fighter at this point, but based on how this played out, he's getting ready to make a $2 million. He's getting ready to have a $2 million payday as a result of something outside of boxing. Like, to sit here and think that this is just gonna happen all the time, like, let me ask you a question. Why aren't we seeing Triller step to the plate to pay for Crawford and Spence? The fight that we all want to see. Well, that's a simple thing, because that whole situation with Crawford and Spence is not in this position where it was vulnerable for an outsider to come in and take over the situation. There is no purse bid for that fight. Why isn't there a purse bid for a question that I don't see anybody asking is, why is there no purse bid for why isn't there the same situation for Terrence Bud Crawford against Sean Porter, who was the mandatory to Bud Crawford's WBO welterweight title? Why aren't we having a bid for that? The IBF is the organization that created this purse bid situation for Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos Jr. See how many layers is already on this shit? Just in talking through that, there's even greater layers with the relationship between the WBO and Top Rank. So to just sit here now and clap and applaud that Top Rank has egg on its face because they're losing this particular fight, that's short-sightedness. Like, what are you clapping for? How does that move boxing forward in any way? Okay, so Top Rank gets embarrassed. So we see some infighting behind some public infighting between Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Top Rank and Bob Arum. We don't know what Bob Arum and Top Rank has to go back and explain to ESPN and how they fumbled this situation. We don't know if Top Rank takes money from this situation, not having to pay for that fight. Can you go on and give us Bud and Porter now? Like, you have to do something to make up for this missing off of ESPN's calendar or schedule, who you provide fights to. Can you take the money and the $780,000 that you're going to get from Teofimo's cut from the Triller deal? Can you add that over to the purse that you would offer Sean Porter? And maybe in a week and a half or 2 weeks from now, you can announce that fight? Like, how does it, what's the repercussions of this? But to just sit here, and this is what kills me. Like, if fighters don't need promoters, why don't the Charlo brothers have events right now? Why don't they have a big fight happening? Why isn't Jared Hurd fighting? Where is he? Why are all these guys not fighting? Why doesn't Deontay Wilder have a fight if it's so easy to just do all of this shit? Like, this notion that everybody can just go out here and do what the hell they want to do. Like, where is the money for this shit? People just get in front of these microphones and these cameras and just, I want this, do this, this should happen, that should happen. We don't even know what this Triller shit means. Good partner of mine earlier today is talking about this situation and doesn't even know what the name is of this company who's come out of nowhere and created this situation. The funny thing in all of this, the ironic thing in all of this, is that some of these people hated the zone and hate the zone to this day. No pun intended. But you hate the zone into this day. But Triller, in essence, represents what the fuck the zone is. Do you not see that connection? The only thing is this. Triller, this is some one-off shit. Like, you know, Triller does not have a roster of fighters that they're responsible for. They just come in and get this one fight and see what happens. See, you know, the shit works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But to sit here and compare Triller to Top Rank, I'm not doing that with you right now, Latoris, man. You splitting, that's semantics and splitting bullshit. I mean, real talk, like that's not even the point. But anyway, Top Rank has a roster of fighters. Like, you have your high-end guys, you got your guys you have already developed, and then you have Brian Lua, and you have Elvis Rodriguez. You have what's his name? The youngster that they have. I can't even remember his name. But they got like 25 younger fighters who have records of 6-0 and below. Duke Reagan. You have all of these unknown dudes that you're also trying. You might be paying those cats stipends. They got a lot more, whether it's called legacy costs or overhead. Like, Top Rank is looking at a matrix of shit before they go do anything to do something. And it just happened so here, Triller was not encumbered by any of that shit. So yeah, they could go out here and pay 3 and 4 times over what this fight was really worth. It's no guarantee that whenever they have this event that if they have it on, I don't know, if they have it on May 25th, for example, it's no guarantee on May 26th they're sitting here with 9 million plus or 10 million plus that they got from this 6 million. They might be sitting there with like 4 million. The other thing is, like, what do they put around this card that boxing fans aren't going to be complaining about? We already don't understand why boxing and promoters were experimenting with these with this Paul Brothers shit and these celebrity fights and whatnot. We already bugging off of that. Like, regardless of who's fighting in the main event, did you give a shit that the fighters on the card got great paydays? Did you even care about that while you were hating on the fact that this main event had KSI and Logan Paul in it? Did you even give a shit that this allowed you to take your ass to bed before 1:30 in the morning? Yeah, it's becoming a spectacle because people don't pay for the shit. Don't nobody want to pay for the shit. So yeah, people are looking for alternative ways to make sure that the money that they put up, that they get that money back plus 5%, plus 10%. It's only consumers that don't give a shit about their money. The people that supply shit, they care about their money. We're the only idiots that go out here and buy the same damn Jordan with different colors on it for 25 fucking years. We're the only ones that do that shit without, because I want to look good at the club this weekend, or I'm going to a barbecue or whatever the fuck. We're the only idiots that do that shit. People that put money, the suppliers, if I put $1 down, I want no less than $1.50 back. But to just sit here and act like every fighter in the world can go out here and hold one-off events and do whatever they want to do, that's not realistic. It's embarrassing to even hear anybody suggest that. You don't understand that Mike Tyson, I had people that haven't talked boxing in 15 years that bought that haven't talked boxing, that haven't even said the word boxing in 15 years, that bought Tyson and Roy Jones. They didn't even know who the hell Tyson was fighting. They didn't even know that Roy Jones was a beast in boxing. They strictly went into whatever the fuck they had to go into and bought some shit because Tyson's name was on it. They don't even know how to download an app that would measure them walking, a pedometer app. They don't know how to do that shit. But Tyson's name influenced them enough to figure out who the fuck Triller is and go download that shit and create a login and a password and put their credit card in that shit. That's how powerful Tyson's name is. Who is doing that for Teofimo Lopez whenever they make that fight? Unless they put some spectacle shit around it. I go into it with the guy my age, 27, about Roy. He didn't know Roy was that guy. Yeah. Cause we don't fuck with all of these boxers like some people would have you believe. A lot of us get on these platforms, man, and talk about shit that's important to us specifically and individually, and then we don't give a shit about how that fits into everything else that we're talking about. So again, you know, it's an embarrassment for Top Rank, no doubt. And Bob Arum, I'm not sitting here defending Bob Arum because his normal way of doing business and the way that he organizes his shit and the fact that we can't get some of these fights that we want to see, there's a cost for that. You know, I'm talking to a guy later on tonight at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m. Eastern time. I got a live stream scheduled with the guy that's going to come on and talk about this in greater detail than I can. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know everything, so I can only have part of the conversation. And I don't think highly enough of myself to come on here and tell you all 100 parts of the issue. But, but it is easy to see when they do give you these television numbers. Just like that, can Adrian Broner go out on his own? I mean, damn, Adrian Broner just admitted to you, bro. Adrian Broner just admitted to you last week that he can't do shit without Mr. Espinosa and Al allowing him or helping him or assisting him to do it. Even though this dude has about billions on the back of his trunks, he is sitting here asking somebody else to help him out, to help him be able to earn a living. So how can you sit here today and say any fighter can go and do what the fuck they want to do? It makes no sense. Why wouldn't Broner have just been at the podium last week and just said, hey, you know what? Monday, I'm going to get back in the gym. Tuesday, I'm going to meet with my business team and we're going to get my next fight together. And I'm going to give you a date for that fight in 2 or 3 weeks. Why didn't he just say that? Because these fighters, you're a fighter. You're not no businessman. You're not maintaining all of these relationships. You're not even sure if your fucking people will show up when you go put your name on the marquee. Again, nobody wants to take no risk. Some of this shit that people say, it means nothing. These fighters don't need promoters. How? How not? Who the fuck paid for Adrian Broner to be in Florida for 3 and 4 months with 9 other dudes eating and being lodged every day and training every day? Who paid for that shit? We don't even connect none of the real dots in any of this shit. We just sit here and say dumb shit. Any fighter can do, fighters don't need promoters. But belts don't matter. How the fuck don't they matter? You think somebody is gonna go download whatever random fucking app and go and buy a fight between Jamal and Malik? What happened to Dev and his? Yeah, good question, bro. Good question. Again, another detail that somebody on YouTube didn't give a fuck. But 2 weeks ago, they had the video talking about the headline on the title on the video was Bill Haney bidding for the fight. Did they come back yesterday and tell you what Bill Haney bid, what his bid was on the fight? Where it fell in line with what DAZN and Eddie Hearn bid and what Top Rank bid? Did we hear anything from Bill? Let me IM Bill and see if another IM gets ignored, because I want to know what did he bid. Let me see if that gets ignored. All this shit is clickbait and garbage, man. Anyway, man, I done went over my time. Hey, man, we got fights this weekend. Love them or hate them. You know, Monday morning, 50% of the people will tell you about what happened. 50% of the people will be talking about some other bullshit and getting some super chats. That's what it's all about. It's funny how the dudes with the channels give a fuck about their money with their super chats, but the promoters, they shouldn't give a fuck about their money. Just senselessly throw money at shit. This shit crazy, man. Anyway, bite down, boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.